The December 18, 2025 meeting of the San Diego Community College District Board of Trustees is hereby called to order. Good afternoon, everyone. This meeting is being conducted in a hybrid format with board members and meeting presenters participating in person. Others are participating remotely via Zoom. We also welcome any members of our district community and the members of the public who are viewing the meeting live via YouTube. The board member is open to receiving public comments. If anyone is interested in doing so, this is our procedure. To address the board, please fill out a comment card available on the side of the room or from the board recording secretary. If anyone participating remotely would like to make public comment, please email board office at sdccd.edu for further direction. In December 2023, our board adopted a district-wide land acknowledgement to publicly recognize that the land we occupied is the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Kumeyaay people. Miramar College student trustee Ariela Ogaro will now read the district's land acknowledgement. Trustee Ogaro.
Thank you, Board President. The San Diego Community College District and its 4 colleges acknowledge the land we occupy as the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Kumeyaay people, where they have lived for over 10,000 years. We honor and value the stewardship, knowledge, and cultural worldview of the Kumeyaay people and their commitment to the protection, preservation of the land and their culture. As institutions of higher education, we are responsible for providing our Indigenous community members with access, belonging, and success in their educational pursuits within an environment which celebrates their culture. We are responsible for educating all our community members about Indigenous histories and culture. We are responsible for examining and taking action to address the injustices of colonization and occupation, which have perpetuated harm against Indigenous, Black, Brown, and other communities. Through this acknowledgement, we honor the Kumeyaay people and express our commitment to truth and respect as the foundation of our relationship. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course. Thank you, Board President. Please stand. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We don't have any readouts from closed session. So let's go into the approval of our minutes. Everyone has had a chance to review the minutes? Okay, do you have any additions or corrections? No? Okay, so now the minutes stand approved. Are there any items, Chancellor, to remove from the agenda?
There are no items to remove.
Okay, thank you. The consent calendar allows the Board of Trustees to vote on a group of items that are routine, standard, non-controversial, or self-explanatory. As always, any items in Section 9, Board Policies, and 10, New Business, will automatically be pulled for discussion, as will Section 16, Information Items. So are there any items to pull for discussion in Section 11, Instructional Services? 1101. Section 12, Student Services. Just to confirm, no items to pull? No? Okay. Budget and Finance, Section 13. 13, no items to pull either. Section 14, Human Resources, nothing to pull. And Section 15, Facilities, Buildings, and Real Estate, we have many. We have 1507, 1510, 1511, 1512, 1513, and 1514. Does the Academic Senate wish to pull any items at this time? No? Okay, thank you. Now to develop our consent calendar, may I have a motion and a second from my colleagues?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Jameson, second by trustee Senior. Will the board members in favor please vote? Okay. The item passes unanimously. The board is open to receiving public comment. This is the public comment period of the board agenda. If anyone participating remotely would like to make public comment, please email boardoffice@sdccd.edu for further direction. Remarks are limited to 4 minutes or 32 minutes for a group of speaking on the same subject, which will be monitored by the board secretary. Unless it's an emergency, no action will be taken at this board meeting, but your concerns will be referred to our chancellor and you will be notified of the chancellor's findings and recommendations. Before we have the public comments read, we will call on the academic senates first. And we'll start with San Diego City College Academic President Mona Alsoraimi Espiritu. Welcome.
Thank you, Board President, and congratulations on the pronunciation of my name. It was perfect. Okay, so I don't have any new action items to report on for my academic senate. We have a few things in process that I'd like to share. We are going to be welcoming a new interim chair of chairs. Our current chair of chairs is transferring. Also, one of the areas of discussion is sabbaticals. Everyone wants to take a sabbatical when their turn is up. You know, it's once every 6 years, I believe. And there, at least at our college, there are not enough sabbaticals to go around. So it is a very competitive process. And I should also share that it has not always been a competitive process. When I took my first sabbatical and I took it like the moment I was able to, I applied and I got it right away the first time around. And my understanding was that we didn't use all of our sabbaticals in the district consistently. That's changed, and I think that has changed for a reason. Number one, faculty are aware of the option of sabbatical, and that's a good thing. That means our PAC committees, our professional advancement committees, are doing a really good job of sharing this information. It also means that I think a lot of faculty are burnt out, and I know that sabbatical is not a break, but sabbatical is an opportunity to take a step back from your teaching, from your regular day-to-day, and either retrain, take courses for growth, and, you know, as faculty whose areas are changing, especially English, but I think everyone's areas are changing. There is a consistent need for this. Like take math, for example, with AB 705 and 1705, all of their courses changed, and nobody got an opportunity to, you know, we weren't able to take a big chunk of math professors and step back from their current pedagogy and retrain in order to be prepared for really what was a completely different teaching environment, accelerated courses across the board. And I can't imagine what it would have been like if we had that opportunity to take chunks of faculty, help them to step back, bless you, and retrain. And so what we're dealing with now is burnout at a level that I have never seen before. You know, part of it is AI and technology in the world, but you know, part of it is just teaching is hard, and students came back from COVID different, and we need to figure out how to adjust. So what I really want to advocate for is more sabbaticals. And I know that's a bargaining issue, but I also know that our CBA specifically says that we can ask for more sabbaticals. So we get a certain percentage, I believe it's 3.5%, and it's based on the number of tenured faculty or tenure track faculty. So 3.5% at each college, 3.5% of the full-time faculty. And then it does specify that if needed, that if requested, the chancellor can approve more. And I do think that we should be considering approving more if campuses have more applications that they're able to approve, or that they're able to that they have that they have available. So please consider this. I would like for us to be thinking proactively about supporting faculty, which ultimately means supporting students. I don't want us to be in a position where faculty are so burnt out and lacking resources, education, retraining, that our students are suffering as a result. So I hope that this is considered. We've talked specifically about AI, retraining to respond to some of the AI issues and not to learn AI, although some people will do that and that's fine, but more specifically to deal with AI misuse. And I think that's more important than ever. English faculty, that I've talked to in my own experience, dread grading like never before, not the regular dread where you need like 3 cups of coffee, but for some of us dread that like really makes it hard to just, even read a batch of papers. And some people what ends up happening is delaying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Students don't get feedback, but the delay is really a fear of what's happening, which is sitting down and reading 10 essays and 5 of them being AI generated, right? And it just takes the joy out of what we are supposed to be doing. I love reading student work. I don't love evaluating it. But when I read AI work, there is no joy. And so I think if we can give faculty some tools to step back and figure out how to reconnect with their disciplines, how to cope with AI misuse and in a way that doesn't harm students. Because I think right now, a lot of our reactions can harm students or have the potential to harm students. Next, let's see. I also want to advocate as far as another thing I've heard about the sabbaticals is that we really want the process to require an equity lens. We currently don't get any kind of report from our PAC committees regarding who gets it and who doesn't. We find out here at a board meeting who is approved for sabbaticals, but we don't know who applied. We don't know any of the equity data. We feel like that should be shared and that there should be some equity or DEIA requirement for sabbatical. Otherwise, you just have, a group of faculty who are scoring and rating without any equity lens potentially, which again could harm our faculty overall. Next, our faculty is currently working on approving a new faculty hiring prioritization or FHP process. This is really exciting for our campus because FHP has been difficult the past few years. We haven't had a good process that both involves faculty chairs and the Senate. And so we're redesigning the process. And actually today we had a feedback session that was really well received. We're looking at shifting it from the chairs only or the whole chairs to a committee of faculty that involves the chairs and the Senate. And so we're excited to hopefully approve that process next academic year and next semester. And I have a draft if anyone is interested in taking a look at it. The last thing I want to share is we still have students coming here for the same reason, to advocate for academic freedom and free speech particularly in response to messaging that was sent to all SDCCD employees about River to the Sea. I want us to think about this in light of where we are right now as a society and some of the factors that should be considered when we think about how those employees receive that message and how important it is to retract that. And I'm going to read this message, and these messages are all over social media. This is I think a tweet. I don't tweet, so I don't know. From Councilwoman Vicky Palladino that really echoes messages I've been seeing everywhere. It says, we're in the midst of a global jihad, the likes of which the world has never seen, and we cannot ignore it. We need to take very seriously the need to begin the expulsion of Muslims from the Western nations, or at the very least, the severe sanctions of them within Western borders. The administration needs to begin developing a formal legal framework for denaturalization process and get it over with before we end up with another 9/11 or worse. Enough is enough. This is horrifying. And these are the kind of messages that Muslim, Arab, Palestinian students are exposed to on a daily basis. When Mamdani was elected, there was joy for a lot of people, but there was also really horrifying Islamophobia and messages like this, that 9/11 is going to happen again. Messages regarding terrorism. And our students are seeing this and our employees are seeing this. So when we see messaging from our district that clearly aligns, because that message is aligned with this message, and we don't know that our district has shifted, it's scary. It's scary, and it silences our employees who are already feeling silenced in the greater world. This district should be a safe place for those employees and students. And unless we explicitly are told that it is a safe place and that we won't be aligning ourselves with this kind of rhetoric, we don't know that that's true. Mamdani was elected, and he's not perfect, and I have criticism, and I know people are holding him up as some kind of savior, but I do think that one thing we should learn from his election is that in leading with integrity is entirely possible, and even when it comes to Palestine. And I think that's something that most leaders did not know. We see leaders everywhere, like quietly saying that they think the genocide is bad. But there is an understanding, or there is a belief that if we say that out loud, if we even say the word Palestine out loud, that we will not get elected again, that we will not get the support of our constituents. And Mamdani showed us that belief is wrong. He showed us that you can lead with integrity, you can support Palestine, you can stand against genocide openly and still be elected to a public office and still receive support. So I just want to remind us of this, that the world is different, the playing field is changing, and that there is room for our leaders to step up and say that they refuse to align themselves with rhetoric that's harmful to Muslim, Arab, Palestinian, and pro-Palestinian students and employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Academic Senate from Mesa College, Mary Wynn. Welcome.
Thanks. Good afternoon. I can't. Okay. All right. So good afternoon. I want to start my report with a few notable things involving Mesa and Mesa faculty this fall. And the first one I want to talk about is something I was asked to talk about by a faculty member. It's the LEAF program. So LEAF, L-E-A-F, stands for Leadership and Environmental Action for the Future, and it was developed and implemented by the District Committee on Sustainability beginning in 2023. It's now under the leadership of Associate Vice Chancellor Aurora Ayala. This is really a district-wide faculty-driven effort to encourage the incorporation of environmental justice and environmental sustainability topics into courses across the curriculum, and to mark these courses with a LEAF icon in the online course schedule. This lets students know that environmental sustainability topics are covered in the course. The LEAF program is driven by the realization that environmental injustice and climate change are equity issues, and that our students will bear the brunt of our lack of action. Since 2023, the number of courses with the LEAF icon, the number of courses with the LEAF icon in the district has doubled from 15 to 30. Faculty across the district participate in statewide efforts to develop resources for this kind of curriculum for other schools. This year, Mesa's Michelle Rodriguez, Miramar's Marty Perelman, and City College's Terry Hughes Ulrich presented on the LEAF program at C3 Converge, the Community College Climate Summit in Anaheim. And Professor Rodriguez presented at the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges, also known as ASCCC, at the fall plenary session in La Jolla. And we just wanted to talk about it, let you know this program, it's there, it's great, and it's receiving statewide recognition, and it's to be commended for it. So that's the first thing. The next couple of things have been sent out, and I just want to say them publicly because they're, really awesome things at Mesa. So the first one, the next one is, we recently received designation as a Black serving institution along with City College, and we're among the first in the state. And this is truly important for our students. And in the words of our president, Shanti Hands, this designation is not symbolic, it's a promise. The services Mesa has to offer in support of this designation include things like the A2Men chapter, Black Student Union, Umoja, Mesa Academy, and others. And this designation comes after a lot of hard work on the parts of our faculty and administration. And another thing I want to mention is the recently formed partnership with the Mexican consulate through a memorandum of understanding. And this partnership expands access to bilingual education services through information about our college programs, educational pathways, and support services. This partnership aligns Mesa's goals of becoming the leading college of equity and excellence with the Mexican government's Ventanilla de Orientación Educativa initiative, or Educational Guidance Window initiative. This program provides even more students with access to education, which I think is a basic human right. So doing this, in my view, at least means that Mesa is doing even more to advance human rights. And so finally, the last thing, kind of braggy thing to say about Mesa is I want to congratulate one of our faculty members, Brian Molinas. Brian is a forensics coach in our communications department, and Brian won recently the Wyman Howe Award from the Pacific Southwest Collegiate Forensics Association. This award recognizes outstanding forensics coaches from across the state. And it's kind of a big deal. And previous winners include Mesa faculty Doss Nugent and Kim Perigo. So Mesa is well represented with this award. So those are the really awesome, some of the really awesome things going on at Mesa. Okay, for the Senate, we do have a lot to report on. So we had our last Senate meeting on December 1st. At the meeting, we passed 3 resolutions. The first one I'll mention is one that contains several constitutional changes. The most notable one of these is that we will add a part-time faculty member to our executive committee beginning the fall 2026. So we currently have 5 part-time senators elected annually, and beginning next fall, the part-time senator with the most votes will serve on the executive committee. We were able to make this change in part because this semester we made the effort to raise awareness about the compensation that's available from the AFT for part-time Senate work, and thus encouraging more part-time senators to engage in the work of the Senate. So that's the first one. The second one we passed was a resolution urging the district to provide updated education plan codes to counseling faculty by the time fall registration begins in April. Our counseling faculty brought this resolution forth in hopes that by receiving these ed codes earlier, it will help with matriculation, degree completion, and transfer success by reducing the number of unnecessary units that don't match academic goals. And the last resolution was a vote of no confidence in our Vice President, Lorenz Legaspi. And I feel like I need to explain this one in some detail. So I'm going to say a little bit about it, and then I'll give a short background, and then say what I hope comes from the resolution. So the first thing I want to say was that this was not an easy resolution to bring to the Senate. The desire for a vote of no confidence on our campus existed before I became president because some of the problems on campus stemming from the management of administrative services have existed for years. Over the course of the semester, it became clear to the academic senate that our school and our district suffers if we continue with the way things are. The Senate voted in favor of the resolution 26-5, and this is all public information. And while the reasons given by the faculty at the Senate meeting for not voting in favor were understandable, 84% of the senators voting that day agreed that the resolution was necessary. I can't speak for every senator at Mesa, but I feel confident in saying that all academic senate members care deeply about our students and what happens on our campus. The problems noted in the resolution are in the areas of facility, safety, and budget. I mentioned some of these specific items in my October 30th report, so I'll just summarize here. The facilities issues mainly include things that have or had been broken or neglected for long periods of time, or processes that don't work and are only fixed or addressed when public attention is drawn to them. The faculty who brought these facilities issues to the Senate's attention did so after they exhausted all other avenues and processes available to them. In some cases, there were no existing processes to follow. Safety issues also motivated the faculty to support the resolution. Faculty have asked for clear safety procedures, clear emergency communication procedures, and regular meetings of the safety committee in which faculty can attend, among other things. The responses to these requests have been either non-existent or inadequate until recently. At one point, the safety coordinator and the director of operations from administrative services advised the deans or chair of chairs and me that they were going to consult with the safety consultant at the district hired about evacuation plans, but to the best of our knowledge, they didn't. We're just now getting preliminary boilerplate safety plans that still don't match our specific needs for our buildings. And finally, the budget issues to me are the most concerning because they are tied to 10+1 in accreditation. So Title V, again, Section 53-200 says that the term academic senate means an organization whose primary function is to make recommendations with respect to academic and professional matters. And in Section C, the phrase academic and professional matters defines specific policy development and implementation matters. And one of them is this is the quotation, processes for institutional planning and budget development, end quote. Moreover, we told the accrediting commission for community and junior colleges and our accrediting body, also known as ACCJC, in 2017 and 2023, that our budget allocation and recommendation committee was evidence for meeting a particular standard 3D3, which is, and I'm going to read the standard here. Here's the quote. The institution clearly defines and follows its guidelines and processes for financial planning and budget development, with all constituencies having appropriate opportunities to participate in the development of institutional plans and budgets, end quote. However, it does none of these things that we told ACCJC. In fact, long-term members of the committee had no idea that the goals listed in the self-evaluation reports and on the website existed, and Vice President Legaspi seemed unaware of them when I first asked him about them. We, the officers of the Senate Executive Committee, thought to ask Vice President Legaspi about the charge of the Budget Allocation and Recommendation Committee, or we call it BARC, in the first place, because at the beginning of the semester, contracts for speakers and vendors from the previous academic year weren't paid. Some of the vendor accounts were so past due that these vendors stopped doing business with us until they got paid. Budgets disappeared or were cut without explanation. Memberships and subscriptions were not paid. The deans, as of today, still do not have all the full picture for their budgets for the 25-26 academic year. And I would love to be able to articulate more about this, but we, the faculty, are not being given budget information much beyond what is publicly available on the SDCCD website. The faculty don't fully understand why it looks like there's more money for this academic year in the published budget, but we're being asked to do less with less. So there's a concern among faculty about whether there will be enough money to run our classes and programs that we have on the schedule this year, let alone enough money for the growth that we've been asked to have next year. Our vote of no confidence is a statement of alarm, concern, and broken trust. It is also the Senate's way to hold Vice President Legaspi accountable. Before moving this resolution forward, the Senate Executive Committee relied on an ASCCC article entitled Votes of No Confidence, an Academic Senate Perspective, as a standard for when to bring a vote of no confidence in general to the Senate. there is an important line in that article that guided us, and I'm going to quote it because we really paid attention to this, and that's this. So, quote, "A vote of no confidence must be thoroughly and thoughtfully and thoroughly examined and must be rooted on the grounds that continuing with the status quo produces more harm to the institution and ultimately to students," end quote. With this vote, we're saying that given what has occurred with safety facilities and the lack of transparency with the budget, we don't have confidence in Vice President Legaspi, and we think that continuing with the status quo is harmful to the institution and students. What we hope comes from this is clarity and transparency in order for the faculty to better serve the institution and the students. We want collegial consultation. We want inclusion in decision-making. I created a list of specific things that senators would like to have happen as a result of all this, and I shared this with our president and vice presidents. This list involves items from the three areas: safety, facilities, and budget. Some of it involves either creating processes or just following existing processes, but some of it requires clear answers to questions that faculty have about the budget. The faculty look forward to working with our president to move through this and develop the collaborative relationships and establish processes that we know we can have. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to Miramar College, Rodrigo Gomez. Welcome as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, board. So our focus on campus, actually, like my colleague just spoke to, we are also looking at LEAF support, adding a space on our website just to showcase courses and specific classes that speak to LEAF and sustainability in general. Our conversations have also surrounded the Aspen Award nomination that I spoke to at a previous meeting, and our advancements on that. So we've submit reports and we're advancing to next steps. So that's great news. At the Senate, mainly the conversations have been on what we'll do as we return to a fully in-person Senate here in the spring. So we made that vote a little while back, and we'll have our first official meeting in that modality in February. Conversations also were focused on the RAF vote that was just ratified, and some of the implications that has when we look at things like what was the official title? ESS 2571, and the focus on Vision 2030 that's looking to make professional learning a core part of everything we're doing, just equitably across our campuses. At the same time, the local resolution just removed professional advancement from the conversation for salary advancement. And so like my colleague Mona spoke, the burnout is real. The need to respond to AI is absolutely real. And so we're talking about how we'll maintain meaningful professional development in this case where it is now de-incentivized in some capacity. Also on the AI conversation, I brought up last time that I wrote a resolution to accept officially the ASCCC's definition on AI literacy. And I see that as a very important point, a starting point for a much deeper conversation on AI. We have mixed definitions. We have different viewpoints on this technology, what it can do, the pros, the cons. And so having 4 different district guidelines and policies on this one technology that we share students across the district makes it complicated. So I think having a baseline definition would be a good move. And this is especially true as agentic AI emerges to complicate matters just a little bit more. And so that resolution will be addressed in the spring. We're going to end up revising it, improving it based on feedback. But that, I think, covers my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rodrigo. Okay, now we go to the College of Continuing Education, Richard Weinroth. Welcome.
Hi, Richard Weinroth, College of Continuing Education. First, I want to say that on behalf of our Senate, we are very grateful for the collaboration we have with the board. It's very helpful for us to have this opportunity to come to a mic and have the opportunity to represent. It's been a very busy year. As we come close to the end, I want to acknowledge, as Mona, Rodrigo, and spoken through Mary's also, how we're tired. Everybody's really tired, and it's been really hard. And the faculty are doing a lot. So I just want to acknowledge that, whether they're faculty in person or they're online, faculty are doing a lot. And sometimes when people forget that being on a committee, it's a lot of work. And when I have faculty who are on committees, I just want to go on record saying I'm so grateful to the faculty who are serving on committees. I'm grateful to the members of my Academic Senate Executive Committee who work so hard to support the meetings. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to serve myself. With that, I want to wish you all a happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And now we will call on the classified senates for their update. Do we have someone that will provide an update, maybe in person or via Zoom? No, not think so. Let me check on this. Esther.
Esther is now able to unmute herself.
Welcome, Esther.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Mhm.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm happy to be here. I am really speaking on behalf of many of the folks that work in classified Senate leadership. I just want to say this has been a phenomenal year of great accomplishments. CCE's classified professional students, staff, and administrators have felt the impacts of our advancements, and your leadership and heartfelt involvement in our district's achievements is so well appreciated. The Classified Senate has been working hard amplifying our voices and engaging in the shared governance process. The College of Continuing Education's Classified Senate has joined in with City, Mesa, and Miramar's Classified Senates to have a greater statewide presence. And we are actively working hard to move forward on a 9+1 work group to represent classified professionals and the great input that we have to share. We appreciate your future support in this initiative, and we hope to see a few of you at the upcoming SDCCE's Classified Senate Retreat, top of the year, January 9th. There's been an invitation extended, and we hope to see you all there. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther, for joining us, and you have a good evening. Okay, so now we're still on public comment. Anyone who has filled out a comment card. Secretary?
Our first public comment is Monica Romero.
Welcome.
Good evening, Chancellor and members of the Board of Trustees. I'm here to represent the Management Association with several updates for you today. So aligned with the association's strategic priorities, we look forward to discussions with people, technology, and culture regarding equitable wages for managers. Our goal is to ensure parity with the recent $4.3 million investment in the faculty salary schedule, the prior office technical living wage adjustments, and similar adjustments to executive leadership compensation that occurred outside the standing resource allocation formula. We're encouraged by SDCCD's strong financial position that creates an opportunity to competitively compensate managers and supervisors, reflecting both the value the institution has in us and the cost of living in San Diego. As noted in our previous updates, we're preparing to implement and evaluate the operational pilot of the 36-hour work week for staff and some managers. In line with the Chancellor's vision that he shared during a recent meeting, we recognize the nuances of this initiative and view it as an opportunity to really explore new tools and new efficiencies to enhance ultimately services to students. While we hope this pilot proves successful, we all understand that not every modification will yield positive results. And we request assurance that experimentation in this area is not viewed as a negative reflection on managers' attempt to create these efficiencies for our students. And finally, we extend gratitude to the board for hopefully your upcoming approval of the additional day off of January 2nd, allowing our employees extra time with their families. Thank you for your continued support, and we wish you a good holiday season. Thank you.
Our next public speaker is Jesse Keller.
Greetings, Chancellor and Board. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I am Professor Jesse Keller from Mesa College. I teach in the dramatic arts department, and before being hired full-time, I was a professor in the radio, TV, and film department at City College, where I taught filmmaking. And I'm also the advisor to the Mesa College Filmmakers Club, who are the fan club back there, and who you'll hear from some of them in a little bit here as well. A number of years back, the dramatic arts department at Mesa College identified this need and demand for filmmaking education on our campus. We want to send our students to transfer to film production programs. And that's why I was hired. I was hired in 2018 to create this curriculum in film production at Mesa College. I've been working all through those 8 years to do that. During that time, we've also had to navigate some concerns of a number of different types from our colleagues over at City College relating to their film journalism and media production program. And I'd like to think that we really have addressed every concern that's been brought forward in a collegial and collaborative way. We've really worked hard. I've put in the work to address everything that they've brought to us, but we're still at an impasse, and our ability to offer film production is being blocked. From what I've heard, it largely stems from concerns of enrollment. Could we support enrollment at both campuses? And from what has been described to me as a kind of a sense of ownership of that program because it's so rooted in City College. We would never want to do anything that would harm students at City College or harm enrollment there. So we're happy to collaborate on that level. And we genuinely believe that the proposals we're putting forward don't do that. As far as that sense of ownership, it's understandable because it is such a long-standing thing at City College, the radio, TV, film journalism, media production. But it's doing our students at Mesa, a disservice to have ownership of this at one campus. The handout that you guys have in front of you there, I've also sent it out in an email. It shows you, I looked up the 40 largest California community colleges by enrollment. And I looked up what their film production offerings were. And it turns out of the 40 largest, there is exactly one college that offers no curriculum in film, and that's Mesa College. And it, I believe, has to do with this sense of concentration and ownership at one campus. So what we're doing is we are telling students who have Mesa College as their home campus, the campus that they can go to, we're telling them, no, you can't study this here. You have to, as one of my students, the actually incoming president of the film club, has told me he goes to Mesa, but he has to take a bus an hour each way and pay bus fare to go take one class because he wants to transfer into a film program. So we're falling behind. Mesa College is falling behind our peer institutions in this. The people that you're seeing here, you'll hear from some of their voices. These are the next generation of film storytellers, making it accessible. I believe that community college is how we can make the telling of stories accessible, not just to people who can afford the massive student loan debt that I took on to go to USC Film School, but can take our classes and then we can send them out into the world as transfer students. This is an equity and accessibility issue, and I really would like to request the board's and the chancellor's office's support to investigate what are these blockages that are preventing us from doing this and how can we overcome them. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Jaron Hodder.
Hello, everyone. As you mentioned, my name is Jaron Hodder. I'm the founder and former president of the Mesa Filmmakers Club at Mesa College. I won't take up too much time, but I just wanted to come here today and also show my support for a pathway of getting some kind of film degree at Mesa. I'm originally from Northern California, and I moved down to San Diego and Southern California to pursue an education in film. I just happened to move into a house that was a block away from Mesa College, so it seemed like a good idea to go there. And unfortunately, learned very soon after that there is no official pathway to a film degree at Mesa. But because I wanted to do it so badly, I thought it would be great if me and some of my friends created a club to be able to go out, make movies, and talk about them, and give more of that opportunity for other students who might want to do something like that. And when we did the first Club Rush earlier this semester, we got 100 signups from other students across campus who wanted to be a part of the club, and currently have about 70 active members. So there's no question in my mind that there's a lot of interest at Mesa College for a film program. And it's really important to me and a lot of my other colleagues in the club and at the school that we work on some way to possibly provide a more concrete program for that sort of thing. Same thing with our sister club at City College, the City College Filmmakers Club. Their leaders couldn't be here today, but they are also sending their support for us for this issue. And both of our clubs are planning on collaborating in the future because we want to try and foster that sense of collaboration rather than competition between both of our schools with this subject, especially because really we want to get degrees, make movies, have a great time doing it. And it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the rest of us that are here. So please take it into consideration, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tom Lekovich.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to also respectfully request a reconsideration of a film curriculum program at Mesa College. And for me, the college is so convenient. I only live 10 minutes away. And I represent older students. I'm 69 years old, and I've been to college a lot. I have 3 associate degrees and 2 bachelor degrees. I've been through a lot of programs, and I've never seen such passion for filmmaking as I have with this group here. There's not just the active group. I'm the treasurer of the Mesa Filmmakers Club, but that passion in all the programs I've been to, and through as a registered nurse all of my life. And I've never seen that kind of passion in all the departments and work groups and teams that I've ever been with. It's really exciting to be a part of that. And I feel like I have something left to contribute to not just the community, but to my fellow students and the younger generation that are coming up through the ranks. I have 4 children of my own, and they need to have like an older person on board to help share the experience and life experiences that we all acquire as we continue on that journey through life. So I would really respectfully request a reconsideration of a film curriculum program as a pathway for filmmaking. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Serena Kuza.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all again. I'm Serena. You all know who I am at this point, co-chair of Students for Justice in Palestine at City. Sometime earlier this year, there was an email from the board that was sent out to our entire district, labeling the phrase "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" as anti-Semitic and inherently threatening, which of course now we know all is false. On May 23rd, we met with Chancellor Smith, President Shabazz, and the district's legal team to discuss divestment policy and ethical procurement. On Friday, October 17th, we met again with Chancellor Smith and a few board members to discuss academic freedom and free speech regarding the phrase and incidents having to do with banners and signs. During this meeting, we were made aware that we should have a response by the end of November, which we never received. On October 28th, we met with Ricky, the VPs, and deans to discuss further about new posting policies. On December 9th of just last week, SJP sent out a follow-up email requesting that a public statement be sent out to the district to reverse the stance on the phrase and asking for the support of divestment. Since then, we haven't heard from the board. Our demands have been clear and we've been patient in asking for them to be met. It is important to remember that we need courageous leaders now more than ever, especially with the conditions that we're all living under. And we cannot be afraid to speak up and do the right thing. San Diego has set precedent for movements time and time again. It sets the tone for what action we see across California. We see leaders such as Mamdani, the new mayor of New York, willing to stand up for what is right. He is all about a free Palestine, and he is being uplifted by the people and for the people. So during a time where it may seem controversial to stand up and speak out, it is imperative that you all as leaders do just that. We as students are asking you all to ensure that our faculty feel safe, because once our faculty and staff feel safe, then so do our students, and so will our community. We all have the same goal in the end, which is to create a safe environment for students and community. We welcome LGBTQI2+, we welcome Indigenous and Native students, and we are all working on measures against ICE to protect our undocumented community. And so we should also work together to create a free Palestine and foster an atmosphere where students and faculty can continue to feel empowered. This is why we will not set the bar lower for what we expect. We appreciate all your efforts towards trying to make a safer community, but we will not settle for the bare minimum, as I hope that if you were in the same position, you also would not settle. Again, our demands are that you uphold your commitment to free expression, publicly reverse the stance on From the River to the Sea, Palestine will be free, and focus your efforts towards divestment. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Marco Guajardo.
Good evening, board. My name is Marco Guajardo. Thank you for having me. I'm a City College student, co-chair of Students for Justice in Palestine at City College. I'm here to reiterate our calls for the board to adopt a ethical procurement policy. In the time of AI, where hiring and labor and purchasing decisions are increasingly going to be made devoid of ethical considerations, I think ethical policies in this institution are increasingly important. This resolution that SJP drafted has been passed by City College's Academic Senate. The ASG, the Classified Senate, supported it. Mesa College's ASG has supported it. AFT has taken a position in favor of divestment. We collected 250 signatures from district students and provided it to the board and the chancellor. And we see structures like the shared governance structure to give us a voice. So we do what we think is necessary to give us a voice. We see mission statements and value statements and social justice statements coming out of this board. So we try and align with those values too. And when we hosted the Liberation and Labor Organizing event last month, where we had Chris Smalls and a bunch of labor organizers, these organizers told us that across the board in their unions, the rank and file pretty much unanimously supported resolutions calling for divestment. And it was across the board, the leadership mostly, that blocked those efforts. And I just want to encourage you not to replicate those failed policies. And help us take a position, a principled, ethical position on this matter. On the flip side, I also want to commend City College's administrators for coming to the table with us and pushing forward part of the divestment calls of getting Starbucks off of our campus. A bunch of students had a meeting with John Parker and another administrator, I forgot her name, I think her name was Nancy. And we're now moving forward with trying to find alternatives to Starbucks on campus, bringing in local coffee vendors with a focus on sustainability. So thank you to City College for that. And I also wanted to just share with you that SJP formed a student and learning community coalition on campus to have to show documentaries and movies on campus with a rotating like host group each month. And we've had a really good turnout. The first two movies were proposed by SJP, so we had very educational documentaries on the situation in Palestine. So the issue is not going away, and we're not going away. So thank you for listening to us. Thank you for your leadership, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Danny Arozo.
Good evening, everyone. So once again, my name is Danny Arozo. I'm a veteran. I'm a social work major. And today I'm here on behalf of Students for Justice in Palestine at City College. I do want to begin today by speaking directly to the Jewish community and stating this clearly and without qualification: anti-Semitism has no place in our movements, our campuses, or our communities. It's real, it's dangerous, it must be confronted wherever it appears. And I can confidently speak for SJP chapters across the nation when I say that we harshly condemn anti-Semitism in all its forms. Jewish people deserve safety, dignity, and full civil rights just like everyone else. The horrific attack at Bondi Beach was yet another act of senseless violence that will lead only to fear and suffering while being cynically used to justify further atrocities against the Palestinian people by the Zionist Israeli government in the name of defense and security. Earlier this week, President Trump took action to demonstrate what he and his administration think about the lives of Palestinian people. They have barred entry to the United States for anyone holding a passport issued by the Palestinian Authority, including family members of US citizens. This decision is not based on individual conduct or any proven threat, but on the clear message that the Palestinian lives do not matter to them. They have chosen a side, and it is to provide unconditional political, military, and economic support to the Israeli government. And that support cannot exist without our money, and that is why divestment matters. Israel cannot continue its policies without US funding, institutional investment, and public legitimacy. Colleges and universities, just like ours, are part of that financial ecosystem. When institutions claim neutrality while continuing to invest, they are complicit. As an educational institution, San Diego Community College District does not operate outside of these realities. The district makes a choice about speech, about investments, and about whose voices are protected and whose are scrutinized. Those choices send a clear message to students and faculty about what values actually matter here. We were promised a public reversal by this board regarding labeling the phrase "from the river to the sea" as anti-Semitic by November 30th. Today's the last day of classes, at least for me, and I submitted all my final projects by their deadlines, and we're still waiting. When this institution continues to invest in systems that enable violence abroad while chilling the speech of Palestinian students, faculty, and their allies, that is not demonstrating neutrality, it is alignment. This district must decide whether it will stand for equity, academic freedom, and human dignity in practice, not just in words. Your students and faculty are watching. The broader community is watching. History is watching. Thank you for your time and happy holidays.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Gray.
They're not here, sorry.
Okay. Montezuma. Also not here. Okay. Daniel Villegas. Oh, I'm sorry. Montezuma.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but I'll be here. I might as well speak. So yeah, I think you guys should divest. You know, I spoke to you guys before about that. The history behind that, when you're complacent with that, you're also complacent with fascism. You're also complacent with perpetuating a version of fascism when you're censoring certain phrases, you know what I mean? and epistemicism, which is the killing of ideas. When you say from the river to the sea is anti-Semitic, but as the last brother said in a really strong way, in a way better way than I could say because I wasn't prepared, that, you guys should divest. I was going to come with a poem, but my phone is dead. So I'm not ready here. I can't say much, but I do know that this won't stop. We won't stop until there's a reversal, until there's changes, until there's divestment. And I just want you to know that I come here speaking for the indigenous people of the Kashkan Nation. I come here speaking for a lot of indigenous people, not just myself, but also the Kumeyaay Nation, the Payam-Kawitcham Nation, the Kawiya Nation, that have all also stood in solidarity with Palestine. So yes, please divest. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Daniel Villegas. Not here? Okay. That concludes public comment.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, do we have any call for presentations by exclusive agents representing employees?
No.
No, okay. All right, so now we're gonna go to our reports and we'll start, excuse me, with our Chancellor's report on communication statewide and legislative issues. Chancellor?
In the next 4 weeks, we should get the governor's January budget proposal for the 26-27 fiscal year. The return on investment of particularly stock market investments for the wealthiest Californians has driven higher statewide capital gains tax revenues than were projected by the Department of Finance or by the governor's office. And there appears that there will be significant, at least one-time revenues in this budget proposal. So we've been working with the Chancellor's office on advocacy for a fully funded COLA, additional growth funding for prior year growth that has been unfunded, and for another flexible block grant. The $60 million that was allocated in this prior budget has been very important given cuts to federal funding and specific programs, and we anticipate more of that. So I'll have updates for the board at our January meeting on what's in that January budget proposal. By the end of February, we will be fully into our next year legislative calendar. It's too early to provide any meaningful update there. But as we get into March, we'll have significant updates and start to bring forward bills of interest for our district and asking for the board's support. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chancellor. We'll go to the report of the trustees and let's start with student trustee Ariela Ogaro.
Thank you, Board President. For San Diego City College, their Associated Student Government hosted a winter wonderland and food for the holidays on December 10th and 11th, providing gift cards, food, and festive activities for students. For San Diego Mesa College, their Associated Student Government hosted a holiday de-stress event on December 18th in the Mesa Quad, offering hot cocoa, cookie decoration, and a community holiday tree. The event supported student wellness during finals week and was very well attended. For San Diego Miramar College, their Associated Student Government attended the Advocacy Academy in Riverside, California from December 5th through 7th. Participants presented a recap of their experience and key takeaways at a December Associated Student Government meeting. For San Diego College of Continuing Education, the College of Continuing Education hosted their Winter Wonderland celebration during the week of December 8th, concluding with a Family Day event on December 12th at the Educational Cultural Complex that brought together students, staff, and the community. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, student trustee Ogaro. We move to trustee senior.
I want to congratulate all the colleges for their lovely holiday parties. I think that they really made them more expansive and they were a delight to be part of. And aside from that, I have no other report. I wish all of you rest, relaxation, joy, and love during your break.
Thank you, trustee senior. Now, trustee Jamison.
Is my Can you hear me? I've been talking really low, my throat and voice, but I do echo those sentiments about the campuses and their holiday parties. I wasn't able to attend all of them because, of course, this is the season of sickness, and I think everybody has something going on. But I was grateful to be able to attend a few of them, as well as I attended the Urban League dinner with a few of the trustees and the chancellor as well. And I was able to celebrate Dr. King receiving Community Activist of the Year from the Blue Heart Foundation. So that was also pretty wonderful to be a part of. And amongst all of these things, this is my first year as a trustee, and I'm concluding my first year as a trustee. Crazy. But I'm very grateful to be in this position, in this space. And I know a lot of my former professors, as well as my former campus president, he's often bragging about how proud he is of me. But I just wanted to say that I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much for all your support. And Margaret, I am going to miss you. I know we didn't get that much time together, but I definitely appreciate you and your kindness and welcoming me on the board. And my text messages, I know sometimes you're probably like, this girl, but I appreciate you so much for being so open to everything. And it's probably going to take me about a month to remember not to text you when I'm running late. So forgive me. That concludes. Oh, and happy holidays to everybody. Please get some rest and get as much vitamin C in your system as possible so we can get past all of this that's going around. And happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, trustee Jamison. Trustee Milgram.
Is it evening? Good evening, everybody. I also was able to attend some of the holiday parties and I enjoyed them immensely. There's been a couple of years for a while that I couldn't do that. And unfortunately this year, health concerns could have kept me from two of them, which I'm sorry I missed. And I look forward to attending all the graduation activities later in 26. I appreciate students coming to comment to the board. We don't often get an opportunity to hear directly from what students are. Our student trustee notwithstanding, since we do get to hear from them. So I do appreciate that. I'm all in favor of better movies, as evidenced by the time I spend on my 6 streaming networks looking for something to watch and finding nothing. I just wonder how some of these movies got built. With regard to the comments from the other group of students, I've suggested a couple of times that with regard to divestment, that you come up with a list of vendors that our district does business with that are problematic regarding the cause that you talk about. So I would be interested to see just what that would mean to us. So that would be my suggestion. I think I've made that a couple of times, but never like standing here in public. And lastly, I'll remind all of you that almost all the holidays that we celebrate this time of year all arose from an important celestial event that is coming up on the 21st of December, the winter solstice. What's important is that it's the shortest day of the year, which means every day after that will be longer. And in San Diego, that means more sunshine. So I'll wish you all a happy solstice and a great holiday and do what I'm doing, which is nothing at all. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Milgram. Trustee Magana.
I've thought about what I was going to say today, and I had all these things going through my brain. But now here I am, and I don't know what to say, other than that it has been a quick year. It's been a difficult year, and I see that difficulty because of what I see in front of me. Not so much difficulty as we can't get over it or we can't approach it, but that there's so many things happening here, but also outside and in our home lives. And what I've found being on this board for the first year is that if we all work together, we can come up with different solutions. They don't always have to be the same solution, or they don't always have to be the right one the first time, but we can make incremental steps to solve them, or to maybe not solve them, but maybe address them. Because we can't please everybody all the time. There's always different points of view. And as I go into the break, and as I hope you would too, like the rest of the board has mentioned, we need to unwind and de-stress and get a little bit of sunshine, because it's that optional work, that search for something better, that helps us to then rethink of how we look at things. And maybe we will have a different perspective, and we can think of different solutions. So that's my wish for everyone here on the board, as well as in the audience, as well as you who might be watching online, to look at the break as another opportunity to refresh and start fresh in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Magana, and that leads me to my report. I will start with an item that both Trustee Milgram and I were part of that meeting, and that is an electrification resolution that was presented to us by Jen Miller, who is an instructor, faculty member at San Diego City College, and also part of AFT. And the other person in that meeting that reached out to us was Serena Pelka from the Climate Action Campaign. And so we had a lengthy meeting, an hour-long meeting, where they are asking our district to consider an electrification resolution to decrease pollution, moving into a green environment, to improve our footprint here in our district. So I wanted to share with all of you, and also, the board, that maybe in the future, I of course I addressed it with our chancellor already, but I would like us to talk about it and have a conversation, because I think it's an important resolution, and it's something that I know our students are learning in the classroom. So more to come. Thank you for allowing me to share that with you. The second item is, I think about a month ago, some of us attended the California Association of Latino Community College Trustees and Administrators, CALTA. And it was in Orange County, and we, Trustee Marichu Magana, Chancellor, presidents, myself, attended to celebrate Trustee Maria Nieto Sr. She was awarded the inaugural Trustee of the Year award for her, is it 35 years, Maria? 35 years of service to our district. It was a beautiful, moving celebration, I think. She gave a wonderful, beautiful speech that I hope, maybe it's available online. But there's also a beautiful article put together by our district that, you can go read. There's a beautiful picture of the art that she received that is very meaningful. It was done by, I believe, an artist that Maria, right? So, so it was an honor, I think, for us to be there. And I just want to say thank you, Maria, for being so great and awesome. And it was great to see, that this association took the time to recognize, your commitment. So congratulations. And that's the end of my report. Again, like everybody else, happy holidays. It's gonna go by so fast. So let's enjoy it. And I'm telling that myself as well. And we're gonna miss you, Margaret, and welcome, Jorge. Chancellor, your report.
Since the majority of our public commenters are still here, I apologize for being late on that communication back. My intention was to meet that self-imposed deadline. I knew that the travel schedule would make it problematic to respond to that. I did not anticipate the volume of matters that would emerge. And in the 3 weeks or so now that we've been back from the Thanksgiving break, I have struggled to catch up with a number of things. You are not the only group that I am late in getting something I promised to. And it deserves the appropriate time and attention because it's a very serious thing that you're bringing. And I did not want to do it quickly and do it poorly in the absence of doing it correctly and giving it the time it needs. But I should have communicated that back to you and I did not. I apologize. I want to congratulate Mesa and City College, as was mentioned earlier, for being among the first set of colleges in California to be recognized as Black serving institutions. That is more than just a certain number of students identify as Black and happen to go to your college. It is a recognition of a comprehensive list of services that are being provided, of efforts that have been made to better serve our Black students, to measure our outcomes and to commit to improving those outcomes. And while unfortunately the funding, the grants that would come with that has not made it through our legislature yet, the designation itself is a recognition of work that has been going on for generations. I mean, we finally have a way to acknowledge that and communicate it. So to everyone that was involved in putting together that application, to everybody that has been doing that work that went into that application, thank you. And this is long coming, well-deserved recognition. I want to thank all of the managers and supervisors. I think we got as close to 100% attendance at any meeting ever. A couple of them now to talk about 36-hour operational schedules. And I especially appreciate the number of people that have bought into the idea that we have an opportunity to really assess the way that we operate and think very creatively. That the idea of just reducing some work weeks does not inherently mean a reduction of services. In fact, it can actually mean the expansion if we think creatively. I've had a lot of positive feedback over the last couple of weeks from people that have come up and said, I've never been encouraged or asked to think and act in this way in this role. And we've already started to generate some good ideas. And to the comment that Monica offered, there's nothing about this that is meant to be a punitive exercise. And I addressed the question that came up in that forum. Certainly, if we fail to prioritize getting people paid on time, legal compliance issues, that's poor judgment, and we'll have a conversation on the feedback on that. There's no part of this that was, let's set a trap in order to be able to punish anyone. It is an exploration. There will be failure. We will learn from failure, and that is a beautiful thing. I want to apologize to Miramar College, the one holiday event that I missed this year. It's the first time I've missed any of them. But I was there with you in spirit and appreciate that several of our trustees were able to make it there when I could not. But just appreciate everybody who took time to come together in community for those events. Often many of us confront the choice of stepping away from work that is piling up and the stress that you might feel about that in order to go be in community with each other. But I just want everybody to know that I think that is an incredibly valuable use of our time, a very important use of our time. The events that I did get to attend, I shared some reflections. 2025 has been a unique year, certainly in many respects, but a year where we've also made great progress. This has not just been a year of defending the status quo, which we've had to do, as we've had to explain to elected officials the harm that could be caused by different federal proposals, but we've advanced in so many different ways. And it's been a year where we've been able to put our values into action in a lot of different ways. And so over the course of October and November, as I was traveling around the country telling those stories, what the most common feedback I got was, I don't see other organizations that are actually demonstrating their values right now. What I see are many that are trying to reframe their values in order to protect themselves, and often seeing that as an individual concern. And they see something very different. And what we've been doing, and as I shared it at each of those holiday events, I was out telling the story of the work that you're doing. Our faculty, our classified professionals. It is not me in the classroom, on the campuses, day in and day out, engaging with students in a way that lets them know that we care, we love you, we value you, you belong here. It's the work you're doing. I get to go and tell that story and use that story to advocate for resources and other things. And it's been an honor to be able to go out and share the work that you're doing across the country in that way. I just want to reiterate the messages of, I hope that this winter break offers a chance for everyone to find time to rest, to relax, and to come back energized to get back to that progress in 2026. 2026, I do not think will be any less unique than 2025. We will have many opportunities to live our values out loud and demonstrate in action what it is to support our communities, uplift our communities. I look forward to joining you in that work. And to close, everybody get their tissues ready, because we must say a very fond farewell to Margaret Lamb, who joined our district in 1986. I've opened the investigation into our violation of child labor laws. She started as a part-time, non-academic, non-classified employee, NANCE, as we call them, and demonstrated the pathway, how you can go from a NANCE position in our district to being one of the most vital employees we have, and to be regarded by virtually everyone who has met her, no matter how brief, as one of the most extraordinary public servants, the most compassionate, kind, intelligent, hardworking people they've ever met. And I've got to see that up close. For nearly 40 years, Margaret has served this district, 4 chancellors. I tried to do the math, I think 12 trustees. That might be an undercounting. But she has been a constant fixture through so much. You think about all of the things that have happened across our society, to higher education, to the lights in our room. Over that time, she's persisted through multiple recessions, through significant international, local conflict, through environmental disasters, a global pandemic. So many things that she has been here helping to support our board, our chancellors, our district leadership. She's been in virtually every chancellor's cabinet meeting, closed session. I mean, really involved at every level of the business of supporting our faculty, our classified professionals, and our colleges. So Margaret, I am so grateful on behalf of Augie Gallego, Constance Carroll, Carlos Cortez. Thank you for the support you've given to the Chancellor's office, the way that you've allowed each of us to be so involved in so many different things, because we knew that you had complete control over the office and what was happening. Never had to worry about that. Could go out confidently, and we can do so much more with that kind of support. With that, we have a recognition to give you, and I'd like to invite Margaret to come up. I want to present this to you. We'll get a picture, and then we will give you a chance to address the board, should you wish.
And
very simple message. The community college, the San Diego Community College District Board of Trustees and Chancellor express appreciation and best wishes to Margaret Lamb for her extraordinary leadership and service to the students, employees, and community stakeholders of the San Diego Community College District from 1986. Technically, it's 2026 when you retire, but 2025, your last day of work. Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Gosh. Okay, I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know where to stand. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you for this recognition. In 1986, I was pregnant with my second child, and I took a part-time job at City College, and in 2003, I was in the chancellor's office, and I did the math. I didn't do the exact math, but I estimate, since in my 23 years in the chancellor's office, this is like, I'm over 400 board meetings that I've attended. So I pretty much seen it all. The highs, some lows, but I will always remember all the good work that all of the boards, the chancellors have done, all the good work the district has done. And I want to thank our board, our chancellor, my boss. I want to thank all our district leadership, everyone who supports them, our faculty. Thank you for making the SDCC the best place to work. It's the best place to work. I tell my friends you should apply. It's great. I go to classified service awards and I see people get 20, 30, 35 years, 40 years of service. And there's a reason why, because this place is great. So thank you for making the best place to work, the best place for our students to come and learn, to be, belong, become. I love that tagline. And I'm just so grateful that I had a small role in it. So thank you so much. And I forgot my team in the chancellor's office. I will miss you so much.
Now, I want to end on a positive note. And for those of you who know that I have a daughter, she loves The Lion King. So the Circle of Life is a regular part of my morning. And as the sun sets on Margaret's service with the district, the sun rises on Jorge's service with the district, Jorge Fuentes, who I'm pleased to introduce to the district as our new Director of Chancellor's Office Operations. With more than a dozen years of experience in higher education, government, and corporate sectors, Jorge will bring new insights to guide the ongoing evolution of daily operations in the Chancellor's Office. Jorge is a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He's worked with multiple private industries, will bring a wide range of perspectives and experiences to help form and shape our office and our operations. During his 12 years in the Navy, Jorge served as Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps instructor at the University of San Diego, as operations officer directing readiness and administrative performance for more than 1,800 personnel across 10 units. He earned a master's degree in business administration from the UCLA Anderson School of Management, a master's degree in global leadership from the University of San Diego, and graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Puerto Rico. So I'd like to welcome Jorge to come on up to the podium, introduce yourself just a bit. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Very excited for the opportunity to work with you.
Well, good evening. I'm extremely humbled to be here. And I want to thank Margaret for this amazing week. And there are extremely large shoes to fill. So I am extremely humbled. I appreciate the opportunity, Greg. Thank you for putting your faith in me. And to the board, I look forward to working with all of you and to serve you all and to serve the community via this amazing institution. I am a product of opportunity. I am the product of grace. I am the product of patience. And I am definitely a product of diversity. So I am a product of that. And I am a living example of what the values are lived here. And I look forward to put my knowledge and my experience to the cause as well. And I am extremely humbled to be here. And I appreciate the gracious and amazing welcome this week. I am extremely humble and overwhelmed with joy. So thank you so much.
On that positive note, I end my report.
Thank you, Chancellor. All right, now back to business. So now we're going to Section 9, Board Policies. Chancellor Smith.
This is our second reading of a set of general institution board policies that include creation of a policy on public records, the removal of outdated policies on that same topic. These were passed unanimously through Chancellor's Cabinet and DGC, and I recommend board approval.
Thank you, Chancellor. May I have a motion and a second on this item, please?
So moved.
I second. Moved by Trustee Magana, second by Trustee Jamison. Any questions or comments? No? Okay. Student Trustee, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Nothing to add at this moment, and my vote is yes.
Thank you. Please vote, members. Yeah, it passes unanimously. Now we go to new business, item 1001.
So back in November, the board established this meeting as its annual organization meeting, a requirement of Education Code 72000 and Board Policy BP 2305. And so we need to have the board select its president, executive vice president, and board secretary, and make committee assignments.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna go to the election of the officers. Nominations are now in order for the office of president, who will serve, excuse me, beginning January 3rd, 2026 through January 2nd, 2027. Are there any nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate you, Isidro Arroyo. I
just been a pleasure serving with you, and you've just done a great job with both the district community and the community at large. So
Thank you, trustee Milgram.
I second
I third.
Okay, thank you. So there are no other nominations.
There appear to be none.
Not at this
Yeah.
time, Board President.
Okay, so there is only one nominee. That's me. And we will now take that vote. Before we vote, I have to follow the script. Before the board votes, does the student trustee have anything to add, and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President. My vote is aye.
Okay, will the board please vote for the president?
Unanimous.
The item passes unanimously. The ayes have it by all the votes. I am declared elected to the office of president to serve from January 3rd, 2026 through January 2nd, 2027. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a pleasure being a trustee and a bigger responsibility to be the board president. And I take your nomination with a lot of honor and love for this, for what I do. So thank you for this district. Okay, moving on. And now we go to Executive Vice President. Nominations are now in order for the office of Executive Vice President, who will serve also from January 3rd, 2026 through January 2nd, 2027. Are there any nominations?
I'd like to ask Craig if you're okay with staying as vice president, and if you are, I'd like to nominate you.
yes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
I wasn't asked. I would like to also
You were
support the
steamrolled.
nomination. I know. Are there any other nominations? In addition to trustee Milgram? Seeing none? Okay, there's only one nominee. We will now take the vote for executive vice president. Before we vote, does the student trustee Ogaro have anything to add, and how do you vote?
Not at this time, and my vote is aye.
Okay, thank you. Please, colleagues, vote on this item. Thank you, and the item passes unanimously. Congratulations, trustee Milgram, executive vice president. Do you have anything to say?
I'm honored to serve.
Thank you. Okay. Other vice presidents. The 3 remaining members shall be designated as vice presidents. Currently, the titles are as follows: Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Vice President for Institutional Effectiveness, Vice President for Legislative Advocacy. Are there any changes to be made to these titles? No. Okay. So I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
I second.
Okay. Do we need to assign them? No, they remain the same, right? Okay. Okay, thank you. So thank you. Moved by trustee Magana, second by trustee Jameson, or the opposite?
Moved by
Milgram.
trustee Milgram.
Oh, sorry.
Seconded by trustee Jameson.
Thank you. Motion by trustee Milgram, second by trustee Jameson. Student trustee Ogara, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
I have nothing to add at this moment. My vote is aye.
Thank you. Please, colleagues, if you can vote on the vice presidents. And this item also passes unanimously. Thank you. Now we need to do the appointment of chancellor as secretary to the board. It is the policy of the board to appoint the chancellor as its secretary. Will anyone like to make the nomination?
So nominated.
Thank you. So, is there any discussion? It's motion by trustee Senior, second by trustee Magana. Any discussion, comments? No? Okay. Student trustee, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
I have nothing to add, Board President, and my vote is aye.
Thank you. Let's all vote, please. And the item passes unanimously. The chancellor is declared appointed as the secretary to the board. We didn't ask you. Hey there. Now we do discussions. Okay, this meeting is also an opportunity to address how the board operates. Are there any policies or practices that the board is interested in initiating, changing, or deleting? No? Okay, well, that's the end.
Greg, will you read off the list of subcommittees?
Oh.
Yes, so the identified subcommittees and members of the board to serve on those committees are our Accreditation, Student Equity and Success Subcommittee with Trustee Senior and Arroyo representing the board, our Board Budget, Study and Audit Committee, Trustees Milgram and Magana representing the board, our Facilities and Sustainability Subcommittee, Trustees Magana and Arroyo representing the board, our Board Evaluation, Goal Setting and Chancellor's Evaluation Subcommittee, Trustees Senior and Jameson representing the board, and our Housing Subcommittee, which also means the appointees to the Regional Housing Finance Authority, Trustees Jameson and Milgram representing the board.
Thank you. And that's the end of our board organizational meeting. Thank you. Now we go to item 1002, Chancellor.
Yeah, so as part of the adoption of a 36-hour operational week starting on Monday, January 5th, we discussed with the board an intent to close the district on January 2nd and provide all employees who were otherwise scheduled to work that day with administrative leave. I would like to ask the board's approval of this resolution for that closure.
Thank you, Chancellor. Do I have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Jameson, second by Trustee Senior. Any discussion on this item?
It's absolutely necessary. Yeah.
Well said. Before we vote, Student Trustee Ogaro, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
I have nothing to add and my vote is aye.
Please vote. And the item to pass this resolution goes unanimously. Thank you.
Okay.
Now we go into our consent calendar items, starting with item 1101.
It's board practice to pull this agenda item whenever we have new programs up for approval, and I see Vice Chancellor Topham making her way to share with the board the new program on the agenda tonight.
Good evening, and I am pleased to bring forward for your consideration and approval a new certificate of achievement at Miramar College Firefighter Academy 1. This program provides students with foundational knowledge and practical skills necessary to pursue a career in fire service, emergency management, and fire safety. It is designed to enhance general knowledge of firefighting, building construction, fire prevention, leadership traits for students pursuing a career in the fire service or related field. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor. Before we have a discussion on this item, may I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Senior, second by Trustee Magana. Any comments, questions to Vice Chancellor Topham? Seeing none, thank you. Student Trustee, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Nothing to add at this moment, Board President, and my vote is aye.
Thank you. Please vote. Okay, the item passes unanimously. Section 15, item 1501, Chancellor.
Item 15.
It should be 1507.
1507, okay.
There might be a typo. on
Yeah,
that
it's a
part.
typo on the, right. The right item, but wrong number on front. Item 1507 would award a contract to provide risk management services for the district. I wanted to pull this to just make sure that everybody was aware of what was happening with this and to also recognize and thank Karen Woods for her service to the district. Back a couple of years ago, the board may recall, we reorganized many things in the district office, including moving the risk management function from what was human resources over to operations, enterprise services, and facilities. Last year, we lost our longtime risk manager, Frank Fennessy, and at that time made the decision to delete the risk manager position, to fold the executive oversight duties into our associate vice chancellor position that Aurora Ayala is serving in. and to elevate the position that Karen Woods was in. And she does a variety of things for the district, including filing of claims with our insurance JPA, working with claims adjusters through that process, facilitating parts of our Americans with Disabilities Act compliance, our office ergonomics compliance. By virtue of having reduced the staffing there and deleted that middle management position, we really have no one else in a position that does this kind of work. And so we do not have someone that we can place into an out of class or acting assignment while we hire to backfill Karen Woods. And so this is a limited term contract to provide those services while we go out and permanently fill this position. And so we are not contracting out permanently. It's just the rare moment that we really don't have an internal option and need to bring in an external firm to perform those services. So just want to make sure that there was clarity on that before we ask the board to approve it. With that, I recommend the board approve this contract.
Thank you, Chancellor. Do I have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magana, second by trustee Senior. Any discussion, colleagues? No, I just want to say thank you, Chancellor Smith, for pulling this item and providing clarity and be transparent. Thank you. Student trustee Ogaro, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President, and my vote is aye.
Thank you. Please vote, colleagues. The item passes unanimously. So now we go to 1510.
Happy to say that this will be the final update on the emergency action for the repair and replacement of fencing, landscaping, and a greenhouse between the Harry West Gym and City College at the Highway 163. The work has been completed and the completion cost is $273,043. And so need board action to accept this final report and termination of the emergency action.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magana,
Second.
second by trustee Senior. Any discussion on this item? No? Okay. Student trustee Ogaro, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, Board President, and my vote is aye.
Thank you. Colleagues, please. Oh, we're still, there you go. Thank you. We're going faster.
Uh-oh.
Okay, the item passes unanimously. Now we go to 1511.
Item 1511 is a new emergency action at Mesa College. Last week on December 11th, we identified that netting around the baseball field that prevents baseballs that are hit off of bats from leaving the area. There are holes in that netting that would allow a ball to get through. There's adjacent parking and housing and people, of course, walking by that could be struck by that. With baseball season ramping up as we go into the spring, we don't have time to go through the normal process of identifying contractors and selecting them. So we needed to initiate an emergency procedure to be able to get that done quickly. The total cost estimate is $250,000. The completion estimate is 90 days, and we would ask for the board's approval. I'll provide an update on our progress at each meeting until it's completed.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and a second on this item?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
trustee Jameson, second by trustee Magana. Any discussion? It's quite expensive to address the issue, but I'm glad that we are. Student trustee Ogaro, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, and my vote is aye.
Okay, colleagues, please vote. Okay, the item passes unanimously. Now, we move to 1512.
Also happy to share the termination of an emergency action item. The flooding at the LRC building that occurred earlier this year, we have finally taken care of every bit of that repair and replacement to the water damage. The final cost on that was $252,740 and ask the board's approval of termination of this item.
Thank you, Chancellor. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Magana,
Second.
second by trustee Jameson. Any discussion? Seeing none, student trustee Ogaro, do you have anything to add and how do you vote?
Not at this time, my vote is aye.
Thank you. Please vote. This item passes unanimously. We go to 1513.
I would encourage the board to take items 1513 and 1514 in a single motion and vote. Both of these items are regarding our bond oversight committee for Measure HH. First, we would like to have the board's authorization to remove and recognize the service of Zora Williams, our former ASG president of Mesa College, who can no longer serve on the committee in the student role. Then to appoint Mark Berkowitz as the business organization representative to serve from January 1, 2026 till December 31, 2027. Our previous business organization representative was not able to continue service and needed to resign. And then to appoint Mesa College student Jasmine Joulain as the student representative from January 1, 2026 until June 30, 2026. The student, Jasmine Joulain, is a member of the Mesa College Associated Student Government, co-treasurer of the Society of Women Engineers at Mesa College, and we think would be an excellent choice to represent students on our Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. With that, recommend the board again, single action to approve both items regarding our Bond Oversight Committee.
Thank you, Chancellor. Do I have a motion and a second on these two items?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Jameson, second by trustee Senior. Any discussion? No? Student trustee Ogara, do you have anything to add, and how do you vote?
I have nothing to add, Board President, and my vote is aye.
Okay, please vote. Thank you. Okay, the items pass unanimously. Thank you. That's the end of our meeting. And I made an observation today that the word love was mentioned more than one time at this meeting, and I think speaks of the place that we're part of and how I think lucky and fortunate we are to be here. So with that, I want to wish everyone happy holidays, and seeing no further business on the agenda. And if there are no objections, the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.